Apart from just doing stuff to do with work, I also like to speak about life in the UK and things that I'm experiencing. So a bit of culture shock, you know, you get here and life is not the same that you're used to, which is expected. It's not what you're used to when you're back at home. So for example, the first time I arrived here, I saw like parents walking with a leash, you know, like they're holding their child with I call it a leash. I know it's called a harness, like it's like the one that you would use on a dog. So the child is like strapped in it, and then the parent is like holding it and can let the child go a bit, or they can sort of like control so the child doesn't go too far. I'm just thinking, really, you know, like I didn't grow up with that, but maybe it's because I just grew up in the Budus, like the Mount Kilimanjaro places there. But I think like we always knew not to go away from our parents, you know, like we didn't need to be told because the world is dangerous. So maybe it's so safe out here that children don't feel the need to just hang around the person they know. Or maybe they're just too confident and they sometimes roam about. Yeah, but it's such a different culture to what I'm used to, you know, like, yeah, it's just not, I struggle when I see it, because my first thought is, what would my mom say if she saw this? She would burst out laughing, or she would just think like, yeah, you know how in Africa, like, yeah, how we grew up, those are things that you would not expect to see a parent doing, but then it happens. And I'm not dissing, I'm just like sharing because it's new to me. Another thing that I find here that gives me a little bit of a whew every time is how people find it so easy to comment on other people's hair, you know. Back in Kenya and in Africa, we change our hair all the time. Like, I would be sitting at the salon and I would be thinking, when am I changing my hair next? You know, that's just how I've grown up. I would change Dahlia's hair multiple times when she was growing up. But then it's just when people keep commenting and they're saying like, oh, I like your hair. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I don't mind it when people say it. It's just, sometimes I feel like I need to explain why it looks different. And yeah, when it's friends, like, I don't really mind. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just new again. It's just a part of like a culture shock when someone's wearing the same hair throughout the year. If they see that you've changed yours, then it's like they feel the need to comment. And what I can say, if you're watching this and maybe you're from here and you know like a few friends who are probably African or African British or African American, you don't really need to comment on our hair. We change it all the time. Like, if you think it looks nice, it's okay and you can say it, but don't say it like 3-4 times in a week because I'm going to change it anyway, like so many times. So it can be difficult to keep track of. And yeah, I don't mind it when my friends do it because I'm used to it now. But yeah, it's just common for us to change our hair a lot. And if you're thinking of coming to the UK, if you've got a job or if you're immigrating here, remember to carry as much as you can in terms of braids, in terms of your wigs. If you like to change, if you'd like to perm your hair, just carry products that you're used to back home, because it might take time for you to find the right products here. Our hairs are different textures, and yeah, sometimes you can use the wrong products for it. I think I suffered those first days when I got here. Yeah, because my hair was drying out. The weather, first of all, is very different, so it dries out a lot because it's very crisp cold, and our hair likes moisture. Because I have natural hair, it likes moisture for it to like thrive. So yeah, there's no humidity and it can dry out your hair, so you need to have the products that you've been using so that your hair doesn't like go crisp and break, you know. Yeah, also like when I blow dry my hair, the smoke alarm goes because my hair is so much, and when I'm blow drying it, it smokes a lot. I think my husband must be thinking, oh my goodness, what's that again? Is she blow drying her hair again? But then he never comments. He's so nice. I think soon he's going to start blow drying my hair for me. Yeah, just part of the culture shock. Another thing that's very different, and I'm not like I wasn't used to, is how you have to plan before you do things. Like, I have to call my friends weeks in advance if I'm going to visit them. I can't just show up. You know, in Africa, like my mom used to just be like, come, let's go see your auntie, and you would go and you would sit there the whole day, you would eat food, you would do this and that. There's none of that here. People are going with time. You have to tell them when you're coming, and possibly you might even be planning, so how long? 2 hours? Yeah, so 2 to 4 you're finished, go. It's actually a good thing when you're a little bit introverted, because it's in Africa sometimes it's not very nice when people just show up at your door. And like sometimes we know people can even come from Ushago, you know, like from home, and they come and they expect to stay with you, and they don't even have a time limit. So you're just sitting there looking at each other like, when are they leaving, you know? That happens a lot in Africa, but here people plan. It's a very good thing, actually. It's one of the best things I like about this place. You have to plan. You can't just show up. You can't just yeah, you can't just come and expect people to cater for you like we do back at home, especially in Tanzania. Like people used to just show up. You would hear, hey, and then my grandfather, my grandmother would go say hello, and you never really ask people when they're leaving because it's rude. So you just stay until finally one day maybe they get tired and they decide, okay, I'm leaving, and then they would go. Yeah, it's such a different kind of lifestyle. The other part of things that I think most of us Africans take for granted is how stable our weather is. And especially if you're from Kenya, Tanzania, again, just along the equator. If you're along that, then I think you just forget how in other parts of the world it can actually be very extreme. You know, like, so in Kenya, when you wake up, you know the sun is going to rise from the east and it's going to go up. Midday, it's up above your head, and at the end of the day, it sets to the west. But here, it's not the same. So like, for example, the sun will always rise somewhere down there, and then it will go up and set, like sort of like, it's never really above you, so it's never really like super hot. But then there are times of the year when there's a heat wave and it's so hot, like the heat is just extreme. And then other times it's very cold, like extremely cold. And those are things that we are not used to dealing with as Africans. And that's where it brings in the whole winter depression, where you can't really go outside, so you just stay inside the house all the time, and eventually you end up hating it here. So if you're looking to come into the UK, that's something to be prepared for. Just know that the weather is not exactly what we're used to. I know the sun can be extreme back at home, like along the equator, like at midday sometimes you literally can't walk outside, it's burning. But then here it can also be extreme. The cold can be extreme, the heat can be extreme, the wind can be extreme. Like there's a time the wind was so strong. When you're inside the house, you can't sleep because of how loud it is outside. And the tree, if you live near a tree, you're just scared. And yeah, just those are things to know. They're not to discourage you, they're just to let you know how life can be different out here. Yeah, so I'm going to be posting more as I remember them, because there's so many. And if you're outside of the UK or in any other country, you can just comment and let us know what you're experiencing that's different from what you're used to back home. Not to diss people, because I'm not really, I don't like the whole like racism and isolating people for being different. It's just good to share things that you know are different, that you're not used to, because it's what makes us special. It's what makes everyone special, when you have something different to share that another person has not experienced. Yeah, so keep on with the comments, and I'll see you guys. Bye bye.